Come.
The debate on what's game of the year, Wukong or the Elden Ring DLC. I feel like I don't have a right to have an opinion because I haven't finished either game. Like, I haven't finished either, so I feel like it's unfair for me to give my opinion on that. But honestly, I feel like Elden Ring DLC is gonna get it, but yeah. Here's what I'll say. I think if Wukong released any other year besides the Elden Ring DLC, I think it would probably like be close to winning, if not winning. But the fact that it's releasing with, you know what? Let's do this. Would Wukong beat any of these games? I did not play Dragon's Age, so I'm not going to comment. I haven't played this, but I don't think it would beat The Witcher 3. I don't think it would have beaten Overwatch at the time. Obviously, if it was now, yes, but like at the time, I don't think it would have beaten Overwatch. I don't think it would have beaten Breath of the Wild. I have not played God of War, but obviously with that kind of leverage, I don't think it would have beaten God of War. In terms of like winning the award for the Game Awards. You think it could be better than God of War? Okay. So maybe God of War. Would it have beaten Sekiro? Sekiro is the only game that like... Fuck no. I haven't played much of it. I played like the first 5 minutes. Was it that popular? Because I know compared to Elden Ring, Sekiro gets blown out of the water. So that's why I'm curious, like... I don't even like Sekiro, but that game is beloved. Is it? Okay. Because I know, like, when people compared it to Elden Ring, it's like night and day. But God of War is more iconic. Probably not due to the fan bias. That's true. I think it could probably beat The Last of Us 2, because a lot of people hated that game, from what I read. Or at least a lot of people didn't care for it. Last of Us 1, no, but I think Last of Us 2, maybe. Am I wrong on that? Because I feel like there was so much controversy with this game. I feel like it might have won that. I don't know. I don't think people liked this game very much. It Takes Two is interesting. I've seen gameplay of it, and it looks insanely good. But would Wukong beat it? That's the real question. I also think The Last of Us 2, with Wukong and the political shit people have been talking about it on Twitter, I feel like if they had to compete, that would literally be like a political thing where they'd be arguing with each other all fucking day on it. So that would be very scary if they both came out at the same time. It Takes Two, I never played it, but like I know it was really beloved, but I feel like Wukong would beat It Takes Two, no? Am I crazy for thinking that? It wouldn't have beaten Elden Ring. It wouldn't have beaten Baldur's Gate. We're just going to skip to that part right now. It would not have beaten these two. It Takes Two is not my jam. Yeah, but like, I'm trying to think of like, universally. Yeah, but like, technically, Overwatch is multiplayer, right? A lot of these are single player games, and then you get It Takes Two and Overwatch, which require multiple people. So, but I really do think that Wukong would have beaten It Takes Two. And maybe The Last of Us Part 2. But I think that would have caused a lot of controversy. I think those are the only two games that it would have truly been able to beat. I feel like every other game on this list at the time was like revolutionary in some capacity or beloved in some capacity. And so I feel like it's hard to argue that Wukong would beat the other two. Because Wukong looks-wise, I think looks beautiful. What I will say about gaming in general is I noticed a lot of people bitching about, like, tourists in games. That really fucking annoys me. I understand if you have a game that, like, you really love. To the point to where, like, you, like, talk about how, like, you're not a true fan if you're this, this, and this. I mean, I get that if you love something that much. But, like, we've gotten to the point to where people are actively trying to, like, stop new people from coming into new hobbies, and it really annoys me. Yeah, exactly. That's my point. You should want to show what you love. And a lot of people will be like, if this... Oh, damn, that goblet's about to eat my ass. Like, what I mean by that is... Let me pause for a second. That's only like 2 seconds. There are people who, like... New people will comment on a game. Like, for instance, I'm gonna go into something I know. Anime. I've been watching anime since, like, 2014. It's 2024. I've been watching since I was 14 years old. Okay? Watching anime for a long fucking time. One thing about anime is a lot of new people, since anime has become much more popular since 2014, don't like the sexualization of characters. I don't have a problem with the sexualization of characters personally, but I agree if a show that isn't sexual in nature, then it's stupid when they randomly do sexualization. Let me give an example of this. If you've seen a show, there's a show called 7 Deadly Sins. Meliodas, the main character, randomly gropes another character all the fucking time. It's very dumb. And people complained about that. But then there were some fans, which aren't fans anymore because the show's shit, who were like, what are you talking about? That's just anime. And that's always the excuse, and it annoys the shit out of me. That essentially means that Black Ops 6 will be impossible to play whenever they decide to shut down the servers. Yeah. I mean, that's COD for you, though. COD did that with the Modern Warfare 2 mod. They made that entire mod where, like, you could play the old Modern Warfare 2, and then they banned it because they're assholes. And they're greedy bitches. Most companies would rather let an IP die than let someone else make content out of it. But yeah, like, when it comes to tourist stuff, that happens in gaming too and everything. If a show isn't inherently, like, a certain way, like, I agree if someone just comes in and bitches about something because they just want to bitch and then leaves. But if someone's, like, a new fan and goes, oh, yeah, I really don't like when they do X. That's just them having something they dislike, and I'm sure there's something you dislike about what you like. Like the Black Ops COD thing, right? Like, the fact that Black Ops 6, you have to be online to play it now, which means that essentially, once they shut the servers down, it's permanent. I'm not a COD player, right? If I went into the COD fan base and tweeted, hey, Black Ops, this is kind of fucking stupid that I can't play the game when you decide to turn off the servers that I paid for, all those COD fans would go, oh, you're just a fucking tourist. What are you talking about? And it's like, no. I have a general gripe, a serious gripe, a valid gripe, I would argue, that it's stupid that this is a thing in this genre or in this game. That's a valid thing to be annoyed at. And exactly like Federation said, if an anime starts out sexual in some capacity, whether it's sexualization of men or women, then I don't have an issue with it. Same. But if it's like, does this logic apply to a tourist wanting to easy mode in Dark Souls? Yes and no. Yes, because that's what Dark Souls is known for. But no, because it wouldn't be that hard to add a difficulty slider. If that makes sense. Like, another big one, pause buttons. People talked about Elden Ring having a pause button for accessibility reasons. I don't have a problem with that. Literally, all you have to do is make it to where one button pauses the game, and that's it. It just pauses the game. You don't get to do anything. You don't get to touch your inventory or anything like that. It'd be like this, where you just see options and exit. That's all you can do. If that. You can't even exit. It's just a blank screen. I don't see that as a bad thing. Some people might say, like, oh, but that's making the game easier. My response to that is don't use it. It's like, oh! Yeah, and yeah, exactly. I saw that YouTube short as well, or that TikTok as well. You can literally pause the game by going in a specific menu a specific way. It's people who want the game to be a very specific way, and because of that, they're going to enforce, because they're a veteran, like, player, they're gonna enforce that specific way onto everybody else. It's kind of like when Elden Ring players say that using a certain build is cheating. I have not heard about them getting shafted. I heard about Modern Warfare 2 mod being shut down, and I heard about, and you just told me about the other thing, but I have not heard about anything else, no. After they started a sale and profited a ton, shit, day before the mod launched, yeah. It's stupid. I mean, but that's more of a, it's not just a COD issue, although it's COD's issue right now. It's also just an in general, like, business issue. Companies just not using IPs, but then sitting on them. It's just an issue with companies sitting on IPs and never using them. But yeah, I just feel bad. I just, like, companies in general right now are having a really big issue with just abusing the shit out of their customers. And they know they can abuse the shit out of their customers because they know that the IP that they're sitting on is so beloved that they can do whatever the fuck they want and it doesn't matter. Like, no offense, but Overwatch knows that Above and Away, that's why I buy all games they make, yeah. Not FromSoft. Oh yeah, true, not FromSoft, I agree. FromSoft is pretty good about the games they make. They know that what sells the most for that mod. I don't understand why the development team couldn't make such a terrible decision. Like, they really don't care about their fans, apparently. No, they don't. Here's why. At least maybe this is just my take on it. If they allow outside forces, Jerry, I'm sorry, you're gonna die now. Move. Sorry, that's the fly. If they allow outside companies and outside people in general to make content, what's gonna happen is the average person who likes that content is gonna realize, why the fuck don't I just play their content instead of the main content? And they're gonna realize, wow, Activision Blizzard is actually kind of shit at their fucking jobs. Who would have thought? That's why so many people talk about, like, supporting indie games. And I agree. You should support indie games. They can get away with it because it's their IP. That's it. There's no other explanation about it. They own the rights to it. Because they own the rights to it, it doesn't fucking matter. There's nothing that anyone can do about it. Whether you agree or disagree with it is pointless. That companies are shafting their fans. But they sell COD out every year. And it's a game they know. It's a game they can trust to be decent. And it's not good, but it's good enough every year. So, why not just play COD? Why try out the new game when I know COD will be good enough to play? I'll become one of those sports game addicts. Yeah, I think FIFA and maybe over here, FIFA and NBA are like the best examples of this. Like, no offense to FIFA and NBA players, but they release the same game every fucking year and you guys still play it. I don't know what you expect to happen. People who only play those sports games are made fun of all the time because of that. Now, I would argue that a lot of people who only play sports games, also are like people who don't play a lot of video games in general. And because they don't play a lot of video games in general, that might be another reason. Is like, I just want to keep playing, you know, my comfort game, and that's it. That's another reason. It's just comfort games. It's just games that I know I like and I won't have to worry about. But it does suck for, like, you know, COD and like NBA, or COD and like COD and NBA are probably the biggest ones. You're kind of fucking them over. Yeah, they just want the game updated with current rosters. And guess what? You could do that with an update. You could literally do that with a single update. That would take like 30 seconds. But instead, why do that when I can just, you know, release a $60 game every year? I like having new people within communities, you know? Like, I think it's good. And I just don't like when I go on Twitter and the first thing I see is people talking about how they're just a tourist and they don't actually like the game. Like, yeah, they do actually like the game. Or they do actually like the show. Or they do actually like this form of media. Did I trigger all the keys? I thought I did. I'll look around and see. It's just that they don't like a part of it. And it's not that, you know, they're necessarily wrong. You just don't agree with that one part they dislike. But instead of, like, you know, arguing with them why they're wrong, you just go, fuck it, I'm just gonna say you're a tourist and your opinion's irrelevant. And that's normally what happens. Because 95% of the time, it has nothing to do with, you know, them being new. It has everything to do with them disagreeing with the opinion.